Hello everybody, and welcome to not only Marvin Garden September, but fall. This is the first full day of fall. The autumnal equinox was last night around 9 p.m. and it has felt like the first day of fall today, or should I say it's felt like a fall day, because we barely got to 60 or above, and it's been breezy. Hopefully my windscreens on the camera will help keep the breeze from being too distracting, but I can't guarantee anything. But anyway, here we are, first day of fall, and I think we're ready to go on the tour. So let me flip things around here. See if I can. Oh boy. Well, there's Frankie. He's again sniffing around the fire pit as if there was something happening. I'm going to take a walk over here, and we'll take a look at the Asian leeks, or garlic chives, blooming like crazy. They're just about to be putting seeds out. And I'll also say that if I know how to move this camera correctly, we've got the French ballerina who's doing some harvesting now. The rest of this is hardly worth looking at. It's just old pond irises. So let's go over here to bed number 1. Again, it is really kind of windy out here, so hopefully it's not too bad. The nasturtiums in the hanging planters are hanging out pretty well, and Frankie decided wherever we are, it must be where the excitement is. So he followed us over here. Now, as you might recall, we got 2 rows of carrots, 2 different varieties, as a matter of fact. And I went in and thinned them a little while ago, and they seem to be recovering nicely. Now, these zucchinis, as you may recall, were just planted as an afterthought of some extra zucchinis. Well, they have thoroughly outlasted the formal planting of zucchini and are still producing. We just picked one, I don't know, yesterday, even oversized, and I don't know if you can see down there, but there's more coming in. So these guys have done exceedingly well. Now, we've got a plant that's kind of fallen over here. I'll have to come back and fix that later. But I've sort of propped up all the calets, and it looks like we might be getting some calets, even this one that's kind of fallen over. Those leafy things that are growing out from the stalk are supposed to grow into calets. Now, I don't know how solid they're supposed to be in the middle, or whether they're just sort of leafy thingies, but at least it looks like we might get some in varying degrees. And then next we've got cabbages, and as you might guess, we have pulled a few of them, but they're so small that I decided to let the rest of these go. And I think I have a basket or 2 to show you. Now, that brings us on to Brussels sprouts, and you know, in various places the Brussels sprouts look like they're actually showing off some promising Brussels sprouts, especially this plant right here. Let me make sure I'm focusing on the right spot. But those are some pretty good looking Brussels sprouts. Some of them are looking good, some of them are not looking so hot. But it looks like we're at least going to get some. Now, I took all the support down for these tomatoes here because it really wasn't doing much good. But they're still growing like crazy and producing tomatoes of a few different varieties. So I'm just going to leave them to sprawl like that. Now, let's go back to the actual herb garden. Oh, Frankie's doing something up there. Okay. Still got some nice basil going on. Oh, both dogs are in there. You finding something, guys? Like some varmint, rodent? Okay, so those are still nice looking Genovese basil plants, and so is this rosemary. And this, interestingly enough, is a volunteer dill that came up within the last month or so. And the only reason I know it's dill is because I broke it off and or broke off a part of it and smelled it, and sure enough, it's dill. And then we got our other planting of Asian leeks slash garlic chives. And look at this lovely sage plant. I'm gonna have to try and get it potted to winter over because it's just so good. And we've got another one that I'll show you a little bit later. Now, down here, all these signs don't say exactly what this is, but what this is peppermint. And it's just a mint plant that tastes more like the kind of peppermint that you have at Christmas. And I thought that would be good for doing peppermint ice cream. And so I'm seeing if I can get some stuff going there. They're extremely small seeds, and but it looks like I've got a bunch coming up. We'll wait and see. When they get stronger, I'll break one off and sniff it. We got some more rosemary here, and creeping thyme, which has done very well. Looks like I need to pull out some weeds there, but other than that, it's looking quite good. Now, our cucumbers, as you might be able to tell by the empty rack there, are all done for. We did get a fair amount, but not as much as I would expect from cucumbers. Oh, while we're here, let's go back and look at this Brussels sprouts plant, because there's some nice looking Brussels sprouts right down in there. All right, come on, Frankie, let's go. Now, interesting thing. It's been a windy day. The screens on the end of this grow house just completely tore out in the wind. The vines from the pumpkin had grown up into them, creating holes, but this is a definite shortcoming of this thing. I don't really know how I'm going to solve it, but I'll try to go in there and, I don't know, maybe put some other screen over it and something. It's too bad to even try to tape it together or something. But in the meanwhile, we've harvested 2 pumpkins because they no longer had any green in the stems, as you can see there. That one does, and so does that one next to it. So we've got 2 of our at least 6 going, and we're going to get some more too. Oh, Vanina's got a
different peppers. I want to take
yeah, full, quite a full harvest basket going there. Frankie thinks he's going to help himself to it some. But anyway, here we've got another very fine sage plant, very healthy. We've got some basil plants that aren't looking so hot, and our okra are still going here, and I finally cleared out all the done-for sunflowers here, so at least they have a chance. But as you can see, that's a nice bloom there that's going to turn in probably to a pretty nice okra. We've got our ground cherry plant that's doing well here. We've already pulled off some. That was just a volunteer. And not much left of the bachelor buttons. You can see all on that end, everything is dead and gone. But I haven't pulled everything out because there's still some growth and some blooming going on, as there is with the boar ash, which Frankie thinks is very interesting right now. These 4 rows are 2 varieties of the large daikon radishes. I haven't labeled them, but I know which ones are which. If I go back and look at the way I've laid out the seed packets in the greenhouse, I will label those, and hopefully we'll get them before the cold temperatures keep them from happening. Now, all the peppers are still going very strong, as you could tell by Vanina's basket that she's got going. She's already gone in here and pulled a lot of them. Of course, now that we're facing October, we're just waiting for the prediction of a frost, because that will do these guys in, and we'll want to pull everything that's pullable at that point. Our straw flowers are still doing quite well. Vanina just pulled a bunch of them, so there's not much to show you that's blooming. Same with the calendula, although there's more of them blooming right now. And this has been a so-so eggplant year. There's several plants that just died outright, and several others that have done pretty well. And I don't know if you can see right there. Yeah, there's that's a bloom that's turning into an eggplant, and we should get something out of that guy. Now, this is the classic corn stalk stacks that you see in many fall/Halloween pictures. And at some point I'm going to add all the pumpkins that we get and take a picture. Of course, I'll have to bring the pumpkins in, because otherwise the rodents will get to them. My next door neighbor's, as usual, making quite a bit of noise doing his mowing, but that's okay. And the sunflowers are definitely past their prime, as you can tell, but they've been fun to watch growing, and I think we're going to get a fair amount of seeds out of them. Now, that brings us to the last remaining summer squash plant, and you can see there's some what looks like powdery mildew going on there, but there's also lots of new leaf growth that looks fine, and a lot of small yellow squash that looks like they're going to go ahead and produce something. But everything else I had to pull, and like I say, the zucchini that was here went by the wayside a long time ago, but luckily our backup plants did fine. Now Franklin has found himself a tomato. Oh yeah, you can barely catch a glimpse of it there. Is it a good one, boy? It looks good. And this is how the whole tomato bed is looking. There's a lot of brown and gone leaves, but there's still quite a bit of stuff coming in. I haven't really had the beefcake or beefsteak type tomatoes come in at that size, but they've been coming in at least okay, if only small. Then our beans have just continued to do fantastic, and there's this guy looks like he's not in very good shape, but there are even brand new beans. Have I got that in focus? Let me oh well, I thought I was getting it in focus, but anyway. And then the yard longs are still coming in as well. So we'll get those right up until the first frost. And now here's the other side of the screen door in the grow house, which is pathetically torn apart. Like I say, I don't know what I'm going to do. The good news is that you can see that there are lots of very healthy looking leaves on the vines. So these plants, although some of them have died off and some of the leaves have died off, they have stayed quite healthy. So I'm happy with the the treatment that I gave them when I was first planting them. And let's see if I can show you this. Believe it or not, that's a brand new pumpkin trying to come in. It's not going to make it very far, but we did get an extra little pumpkin coming in, so I think we're going to get 7 total out of everything. And they're good size, and they're still growing. They're still getting nourishment from the vines, so that's good news. Now you can probably see our cattails going in the wind. There's at least, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 of which are inside the garden here, or 3 of which. So that's kind of nice that the marsh is healthy enough that it's spreading out, etc. So now I'm not going to walk out to the asparagus patch, but maybe I'll do some drone footage, of course, which I have not shot yet. And but it's really only worth some drone footage because all it is asparagus aging and weeds, which I haven't bothered to go out there and take care of. Fire pit's looking good. We're still planning on coming out here, just haven't been able to yet. Our zinnias are still coming in nicely. These are just potted zinnias. And I will say that I haven't laid down in the hammock yet, but I fully intend to on one of the warmer days that are coming up in September. Meanwhile, we got our water features. The mini horsetails looking great. The water hyacinths are also looking pretty healthy, although they apparently have stopped blooming. And I guess we'll go back here, and the dachshunds really want to go inside. Cassie's missing the cue. Frankie went inside. There he goes. And Danina's, as usual, doing the hard tasks while I am the TV star doing my video. All right. There's a very nicely clear pond with our single remaining koi, as you saw, swimming around. He seems pretty happy. I think he kind of likes having the place on his own. You can see lots of water hyacinths that are growing, and our little waterfall is coming down. Everything looks still pretty healthy here. It's of course before the first frost, and if anything, I need to go out and clear some stuff out. So that's always nice. I probably am due to go in there and vacuum as well, but the water's so clear I don't even care to bother with that. And, then there's the French ballerina doing what she does best, of course, mowing away like crazy. And Frankie is over here looking at the the tub that we have for overflow, which is just chock full of water hyacinths. I don't see any blooms though. We might be beyond that point. Nothing much else to show you. The pool is all covered up, but we're having guests tomorrow, and I've covered it up because I'm going to turn the heat on at full blast at midnight, and even though it's only going to get up to around 70 degrees, I'm hoping maybe it'll be the last blast of summer by going into a warm pool, even though it's not really pool weather out there. Of course, nothing to show you on the fruit trees because we got nada nothing. Vanina has pulled quite a few crab apples though, so we might be making some crab apple jelly, and we got about 5 gallons of tomato sauce in on the stove, which I am about to can shortly. So other than the setting sun, which is right there, and like I say, we just passed the autumnal equinox, so we're getting about equal days, daylight and night hours. The rest of our onions are curing here. We're just waiting for them to kind of dry out completely. But you can see there's some very nice size onions here. I mean, can you complain about that? No, I don't think so. And if we get them to dry nicely, they'll last a fair amount. So we also have some corn stalks in here, harvested for Tara to use as fall decor, and they are the visitors that are coming tomorrow. Tara, Alex, and my granddaughter Lucy. But you know, gang, that's pretty much it. Oh, I'm gonna try to turn this around. Nope, that's the wrong way. See, there's a little LCD screen that allows me to see what's going on, and but when I try to turn it, sometimes I turn it in the wrong direction, and I lose the proper focus. But I think we're okay there. Let me see. Maybe I can stand with the sunset in the picture a little bit. Yeah, sort of behind me. All right. So I'm probably going to end the video with a little of the trail cam videos from the beginning of August through mid-July. as I have been doing. And of course, that's optional viewing. It's only if you want to watch. Other than that, and any drone video footage I've intercut, as well as harvest baskets that I've done, that's going to do it. This is the first day of fall, Marvin Gardens, September 2022, and hope you guys are having a great fall as well, and we'll see you next time in October when things really get fall-y around here. All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye.